know this year, since January 1st, you've just enrolled a lot of people. How many people have you enrolled since January 1st this year?
As of a few minutes ago, it is 76.
Wow. Now, I know everyone in the world are going to wonder, how are you doing this, Bart, and how can we do what you're doing?
Sure. Okay. My secret, if you like, it's not really a secret. I can tell you, like, other people build the business in different ways, and that's absolutely fine. And I suggest that people absolutely check in with their upline and get advice from them on how they think that those people should proceed in that. But here's what I do. I have built my entire organization sitting where I am sitting right now, Ian, in my office, in my house, in front of my computer. I have not gone and run the rubber off the tires of my car. I have not traveled around. I have not run meetings outside of my home. I wasn't allowed to. For a start, we were in lockdown for most of the time that I've done all of this. What I have done over the last several years is I've built up an online community of people who are interested in human physiology, human nutrition, sport and exercise physiology, health and fitness, those kind of areas. I chose to use YouTube as my platform of being an influencer there. I started with no supporters, no followers, no subscribers like everybody does. But over a couple of years, I've built up a relatively large following of individuals who are subscribed to my channel, who watch my videos on various different topics. I do quite a bit of character play acting on that channel. I have different costumes that I wear. I play different characters. Sometimes I'm berating people who want to say things like veganism is the best thing you can possibly do for your health, or that kind of thing. Sometimes I'm a bit more just teaching rather than actually, berating people or whatever else. But anyway, I've built up a following of people, and I've also spent a lot of time and energy communicating with these people electronically online. I've made friendships. I've now got multiple different platforms that I use to communicate with these people on a daily basis. They've become another family to me. These are people I know very well. They've told me stuff about them that's, secret stuff or whatever else. I've spent many hours talking to these people. And so when I started to talk about the Cerule product and the Cerule business opportunity a few months back, I had built that relationship with those people to the point where, because I'm saying it, they have the respect for me enough to check it out. And so all I have to do at this point now is make a comment about the product in a leading way that makes people interested to want to find out. And by the way, I always lead with product. I never lead with business opportunity. That's my choice. That's the way I do it. And the reason I lead with product is because it is that good. And the conversion rate of talking to people about this product to getting them to either buy it or to be an IBO is extremely high for that reason. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a scientist of any repute to provide the information about what this product is. And at the most basic level, for 90-something% of people, if you say, here is a product that causes your bone marrow to release your adult stem cells into your blood, and those stem cells can turn into brand new cells of any kind, pretty much, to replace any tissues that need replacing in your body, 90-something% of the time, that's enough. People say, well, sell it to me then. Boof, right there, easy. So I guess it's not advice, because well, some of you are in my organization, most of you are not, but that's the way I've done it. And what I say to people in my organization is this: if you are not involved in developing and building an online presence on multiple different platforms as an influencer, as someone who is kind of known, as someone who produces material that people will either read or watch or listen to in some way, I would suggest that people probably should. It is an incredibly powerful tool. As I say, I have not left this seat building my business in my office in sunny Nelson, New Zealand. I haven't done meetings. I haven't run around the place. This is all online relationships. And you have to build real relationships with people. Don't get me wrong. You can't start an online influencing channel of some kind and expect to get necessarily results like what I get next week or anything like that. You will have to put in the effort to build the thing. But it's well worth it. And I say well worth it in terms of the sheer numbers of people that I'm able to help with some really, really incredible challenges. I'll give you another couple of silly, not even silly, I'll give you a couple of straightforward is the word I'm after, examples of benefits. My mother has just turned 75. And for the last 5 years, she's been really going downhill in terms of her health. She's had really quite severe ankylosing spondylitis, which is a situation that occurs where your spine and vertebral column, it's an autoimmune thing. It basically starts dissolving and they all start fusing up and they end up hunched over, unable to stand up straight, unable to walk more than about 50 paces, constant pain and suffering. And it was horrible to watch. She also started to have a bunch of TIAs, which are mini strokes, which is also quite typical for women in my family of about her age. And usually that's the slide for several years that goes on, and then usually it's the end pretty soon after that. And I really thought to myself, I have two choices here. I can sit back and watch this happen, or I can say, Mum, take this product, shut up, take this product, shut up, I'm paying for it, take this product, take it every day, don't argue, just do it. Believe me, I know I'm your son, I know you've known me my whole life, I know you've seen me at my worst. If anyone's not going to listen to me, it's going to be my mum, isn't it? But anyway, I got her on the product at a fairly high sort of intake level for the last several months. I hadn't seen her for several months, went down over Christmas, New Year, spent some time with her. She was staying in her second home over there on the West Coast, and she was hosting my sister and her family, and so we went in to spend a few days with her and that. Couldn't work it out for the first few hours what was going on, why it wasn't, something didn't seem right. And then it twigged basically, well, here's my mum standing bolt upright with her shoulders back and her chin up. No sign of the pain on her face that's been there for 5 years. Bright as a button, no sign of the TIAs. In fact, she tells me they have stopped. And that in my mum's side of the family, they don't stop. They get worse until they die, basically. But they've stopped. Bolt upright, chin up, shoulders back. She marched up and down the beach with us for hours on end with 2 dogs and 3 children, with a spring in her step, a smile on her face, laughing and joking about the world at 75 years of age. 2 months after, it looked like she was just about giving up on it. So while there is a financial reward in building this business, absolutely, of course there is. And why shouldn't there be? To me, the real reward is I can now look at my mum and go, maybe I just bought her another 20 years that she wouldn't have had. Maybe I can have my mum around for another 20 years. Who do you guys know? Who do you know that is suffering? Because I'll tell you what, it's most everybody you know in some way. People love to complain about what's wrong. The easiest opening line that I've ever used is like as simple as just as a part of normal conversation. Hey, Ian, how are things going, mate? How's your health? Because that's a normal thing people say, isn't it? Now, if Ian's unwell, he's going to say, oh, mate, let me tell you how bad things are. And he's going to spew all over me about how terrible his life is. This is what I've learned. I go, man, I empathize. Man, that's terrible, Ian. Man, I can feel your pain, Ian. I really can. Jeez, yeah. And then I change the topic. Do I jump straight on Ian with I've got this great product? No, I change the topic and I talk about something else. And then we finish that discussion and I phone Ian back or recontact Ian electronically or however it is I'm doing it, email or on the various different message boards or whatever. I wait 5 days before I talk to Ian. And then I just say, hey, Ian, I know we were just talking a week ago, 5 days ago, whatever it was. And you mentioned that your knee's bad, your back's bad, your head's falling off, whatever. Tell me, what do you know about adult stem cells? If you can get that far, the discussion has begun. From that point on, you've got them. They're yours. They will get in. That's what I found anyway. So for what it's worth, that's what it is. It's about, number one, placing yourself in a service position, because that's what we're doing here. We are helping people. In order to do that, you need to be able to get your message to the maximum number of people possible in the most efficient way possible. And if I can talk to several thousand people without leaving this chair in this office, because I've spent a couple of years building that up, I think that's the way to go, personally. So that's how I've done it, basically. What platforms am I on? I'm on the YouTube channel, and it's called Bart K Nutrition Science Watchdog, for those of you that have not come across it. Fair warning, I do speak plainly on that channel, and from time to time I do use words that have one syllable in them, shall we say. Also, fair warning, I am absolutely adamantly against veganism, vegetarianism, and the exclusion of animal products, saturated fat, etc. So you need to know that up front. That's where it started, was the YouTube thing. From there are other platforms that allow people to upload videos and to subscribe and to become followers of. So I've used those as well. Facebook is a good one in terms of bums on seats, getting attention, setting up groups, doing live streaming. So Facebook's fantastic for that. LinkedIn I use. Instagram I've been known to use, but not as much. Twitter, whatever. I've been known to use all of those ones. Of course, there are one or two issues, as we all know these days, with censorship and blockading of people that don't espouse the right narrative or whatever. Sure, but we work around that. We do the best we can to get our message out there, and that's it in a nutshell. It's not a technical thing. It's just a process of having a channel which has a focus. Now, the focus might be nutrition. It might be physiology. It might be health and fitness generally. It might be a foodie channel, something that's vaguely related to the Cerule products in any way. It might be a beauty channel because, we do have fantastic skincare as well. Who's tried the AFA night cream, by the way? Fabulous stuff. Unbelievable. The only product in the world infused with AFA that you can put directly on your skin to make yourself look as young as I do at my advancing age and things, Ian. So, and you don't have to be an expert. Okay, you don't have to know all about the thing. All you're doing is hosting the channel, which becomes the focal point of the community that grows around that. The other one I forgot is Discord. If you've never heard of Discord, Discord is like Facebook on steroids. Discord, you can have not only posting things, putting pictures up, talking to each other in text, you can also have voice discussions on there. You can have video discussions on there. You can host debates on there. There's all sorts going on with that as well. So it's about being au fait with, being comfortable with, being happy with being an online entity in terms of how to garner support around your Cerule business and what your ongoing supply of potential Ceruleans, where they come from. Much easier than picking on friends and family to try and get them involved, especially at the beginning. Because as I said, even at my age and stage, with my level of knowledge and experience and expertise and whatever, trying to convince my mum, for example. I tell you what, she's convinced now though, Ian. I tell you what, she's convinced now. Anyway, that's it in a nutshell. That's my best effort at explaining what it is I do and how I do it. Are there any questions about that? I know we're over time, but I'm perfectly happy with it.
Well, we will finish up now because we usually go 30 minutes. We are over, but what invaluable information on the products, what invaluable information how to share, and different ways to ask someone how they're doing, then come back 5 days later. Invaluable. Thank you. You're a treasure. And we're so blessed to have you with Cerule. You're changing lives all the time. And I know you're going to Chairman's Club. Thank you, Bart. And thank you, everyone around the world. And we will all be back soon. Bye.
See ya.